I think we're good. All right, now the recorder works. Just a reminder, 6th grade, that your Chapter 7 test is Monday. Today we're going to do a review in the book after we go over the challenge warm-up as well as your homework. As long as all goes well today, I have a review game planned for tomorrow, which means you probably won't have an assignment over the weekend unless there's something I feel that you do truly need more practice with. And then Monday will be your test. If we don't get through all of the review game tomorrow, I will post it to Blackboard like I typically do. So if you want to go back and try any other practice problems on your own, you can do that. Okay? All right. Okay, we already did that. All right, let's go over the warm-up here, okay? Starting with number 1. Now, I know 7 I definitely will have to do with you. I'll do that, but let's go over the other answers first. Doug, what did you get for number 1? Okay, by how much? Good. Account B by $98.75. Justin, what about number 2? Yep. Not $9. Charles? $309. Higher balance, Justin, is what you had to find there. Right, that doesn't matter. It asks you determine which account yields a higher balance and by how much. So just read carefully. So Justin, I'm guessing you did the same thing. Now on the test Monday, that could be a problem for some of you if you're not reading. It could say it's simple annual interest, but find how much the balance differs, or find the balance. Just read carefully what the question is asking you. Mary? Okay, we're not there yet. Oh, you mean the answer. I thought you meant help for it. Go ahead, number 3, Mary. It should be account A. So I'm guessing you either mixed them up or typed something into your calculator wrong.
Oh, yeah, it's account A.
Okay. It is account A, but not by that much. Charles? Yeah, $90.35. Yeah. Or your writing's messy. Correct, I was going to say that. Okay, number 4, Briar. Okay. Well, first of all, this one's compound, not simple. So you can't do what you did on 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Okay. Gotcha. But you used compound interest, right? Okay. Emma M, what'd you get for 4? Yeah, but I got 24 cents. Sure, it's close enough. I'm sure I would not take off for something like that. It just depends on, let me look at my number 4. Oh yeah, number 4, Emma, this was the one that had, the years was 19/6, which is 3.16 repeating. So if you rounded that differently, that's why. You're fine. It's just the rounding. I kept mine exactly 19/6. So you're fine. Matt? That's fine. It's a rounding issue. You're fine. I do want to make a comment there. On 4 for B, because the years is 3.16 repeating, what you should have done in your calculator was typed in 1.045 in parentheses, caret, raised to the 19/6 power. So what you should have done is not put in 3.16 repeating, not put in 3.2, do your caret, this is the exponent. So for the calculator to know that there's a fraction exponent, this must be in parentheses, so it knows that it all goes together for the exponent. This is something you really won't learn until Algebra 2, but do you guys know what I mean about typing that into the calculator? Okay. It will keep your answer exact, and of course, as a math class, as a math teacher, you do want your answers to be exact. No, I would not mark that wrong in a pre-algebra class. You were very close. It's a rounding issue. Okay, so let's go to number 5. Alyssa, what did you get for 5? Good job. Number 5 is 4%. Emma H, how about 6? Okay, and I rounded mine to 600 for some reason, or... Yep, thank you. I was rereading the problem. Thanks, Charles. So I rounded it to 600, but again, another thing, like I told Emma M, I would not mark that wrong. You got it. All right, so those were like the basic problems that we've been doing. Now, number 7 is difficult. Raise your hand if you think you have an answer to 7. Okay, keep your hands up. Sean, what'd you get? Okay, that's a good opinion. Briar, you done? You should put it on my desk. Thank you. Okay, Charles? Okay, Doug? Okay, Justin? Say that again. Okay, Matt? What did you get? Yeah, that is wrong. I will tell you that. Sorry. Donatus? Okay. Okay. Emma? Okay. Emma M? Okay. Anyone that got between 4.4 and 5%, that's correct. I'm going to go over it. Listen, very, very good. I'm very impressed. So for a couple minutes, I would like to hear some of your strategies of how you did this. So let me move my smartboard. Okay, hold on. It's not 410, it's 4,000. Okay, so here's the setup, okay, of number 7. I wrote down either 4.4% or 5%. I'm okay with either one there because it did say round to the nearest percent. So typically, or technically I should say, 5% is the answer. Yeah. So, what did you do? Charles, what did you do? We'll start with you. You typed that whole thing into your calculator? And then what did you do? Okay, that does not work on the other calculators. True. Okay, well, I didn't know you knew how to do that. Okay. All right, good. If you don't know how to use the equation solver, Charles, how do you do this? Emma? Okay, good. That works. Don't worry about that right now. Shh. Okay, who used algebra? I would like to hear who used algebra to solve this. Since we're in a pre-algebra class, Sean, what did you do? Well, this is the startup. That's how you initially set up the equation. Okay. All right, I'll tell you guys if you don't know how. Annalise? Okay. I'm getting there. I'm asking first. I'm getting there. Justin? Yeah, you shouldn't. That's not right. Matt? Not right. That was my whole thing yesterday that I wrote on the board. You can't distribute an exponent in a binomial. That's a binomial. Okay, first step, I'm just going to tell you. Divide both sides by 3,600. Okay, here's using algebra, not a calculator or an equation solver. After you divide, you get 1.138 repeating equals 1 plus r cubed. So, after you divide, anyone know how to get rid of the cubed? Doug? Good job. Take the cube root. To get rid of a square, you take the square root. To get rid of a cube, you take a cube root. Now, I am like pushing you 3 years ahead of where you should be. You don't need to know this to algebra 2. I'm going to show you right now. So on the calculator, shh, listen, on the calculator. Okay, if you go to math, shh, quiet. If you go to math, come on, calculator. Okay, shh. Here's the cube root, okay, number 4. So if you type in number 4 and then type in 1.138, No, I know technically that 8 is repeating, so I'll put a bunch of 8s in. And then it's 1.138. Mary, what's wrong? No, it's 1.138. If you divide again 4,100 divided by 3,600, you get 1.138. So hit enter. We get 1.0443 blah, blah, blah equals 1 plus r, because a cube root cancels a cube. So then what would you do? Emma? Yeah. So then you would just minus 1 on both sides. So I'm going to use my calculator. Minus 1. Now, do you see how it puts in answer minus 1? It grabs this answer and just subtracts 1 from it. It's much easier than retyping it in. So you get 0.0443, which is your rate as a decimal. Move it to the right 2 places. You get 4.4%. Briar. I know you did. That's why I wanted to ask, but then I realized no one knew how to do it the algebra way. So, okay. Adam? Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah. Yeah, there's just like the caret thing, Adam, there's a lot of ways to put cube root, 4th root, 5th root. Algebra 2, chapter 6, you'll do a lot of that. Annalise? It could be a bonus. Could be a bonus. But no, not a... where did I lose you? Okay, hold on. You're saying you're contradicting yourself. You just said that you know how to solve this. Right. Well, it's a bonus. You just told me that you could follow. You followed me. I think you would surprise yourself. I guarantee most of you could remember this. You don't have to. Don't put pressure on yourself. I'm not saying this is going to be the bonus, but it could be. So no, you don't have to know this for the regular test. Charles. I'll help you. It's on there somewhere. Okay. Okay. I can look if you want me to. Maybe there is something you just didn't find it. Okay. Mary? Okay, I'll give you my work so you can look at my paper. Okay. Doug? That's good. Good. Okay, I'll check it in a minute because I need to go over homework still. Emma? Divide? It's the reason that I showed you yesterday. When you have a binomial, you cannot distribute the exponent. Okay, so you treat this kind of like a 2x, or treat this as an x cubed. Okay, if you have an x cubed or an x squared, you have to get rid of the number in front first before you take care of the exponent. Don't worry about it. This is a challenge problem. You don't need to know it for this chapter. Okay, any other questions on the warm-up before I give Mary my sheet here? Annalise? Okay. What's your question on 3? Okay, so whenever you solved, account A's balance is $5,315.17. Did you get that for account A's balance? Okay, what did you get for account B's balance? Oh, I'm reading the wrong one. Sorry, I was on number 4. That is right for number 3 for B. Sorry, number 3A, you should get $766.37. Is that the one that you messed up on?
Yeah.
Okay. For the account. Yeah, B was right. It's A that's wrong. So for A, Annalise, you should do 600 times, in parentheses, 1 plus 0.085 to the 3rd power. 36 months is 3 years. That's why. Okay, good. What'd you do?
I just noticed that I forgot to do the compound and I did the simple,
Okay.
but I still got the rate.
Okay. That's not always going to work. Okay, Mary, I'm going to read you. You said number 4. Okay. For number 4, the account A balance, you should get $5,315.17. Okay. For number 4A, you should have 4,500 times, in parentheses, 1 plus 0.0425 to the 4th power. Did you have that written down or no? Okay. Instead of multiplying it? Instead, you should have multiplied it. Oh yeah, don't do that. And then for the account B and number 4, you should have $5,575.41. Yeah, and if not, I'll give you my answer key or I'll come over and help you with it. Annalise? Yep. It was not it's account A by $90.35. Okay, anyone else on the warm-up? Okay, so let me read over the homework answers and then we're going to work on our review for the rest of the class. Okay, homework, I will, Doug. Let me go over this and then I will. Okay, homework answers for 7-7C are up. Okay, I'm going to read them for you. Okay, so number 10 on 7-7C, the account balance is $245.74. For 11, the account balance is $1,761.41. Number 12, the account balance is $6,153.43. Number 13, $12,273.97. 14A, I filled in the chart, so I will read the answers first for simple interest balance. Okay, going down. $2,575 for number 1. Number 2, $2,650. Number 5, $2,875. 10, $3,250. 20, $4,000. For the compound interest at year 1, $2,575. Year 2, $2,652.25. Year 5, $2,898.19. Year 10, $3,359.79. Year 20, $4,515.28. And then number 15, this one was kind of a challenge problem, but I'm guessing most of you got it. Should be $1,346.86. Mary. Okay. The use of the compound interest one, right? Okay, so for 2, you should have 2,500 times, in parentheses, 1 plus 0.03 to the 2nd power. Oh, yeah, why don't you, if you have a second, just try to redo that, okay? But you got the one with 5, right? That's weird. Okay. Let me type something in real quick to see if. Yeah, I don't know. Try that. I'm not sure what you did. Try that again. You might have just typed a number in wrong. Huh. Emma. Okay, for 15, your setup should be 1,000, and then in parentheses, you have your work, yeah.
Yeah.
1 plus 0.06 over 4. You forgot about the over 4 because you had to use this formula that they gave you. That's why. That was kind of like number 7 on the warm-up, kind of a harder problem. You okay with? Okay. You had to do it just like the formula said. So then that meant your exponent should have been 5 times 4. Yeah, that should have been divided by 4, and that should have been 5 times 4 because of the formula that they gave you in the problem. Okay? Annalise. Okay, you should be using the account balance formula. A equals P, parentheses, 1 plus RT. Account balance, not interest. Account balance, that's why. So if you take what you had, Annalise, and add it on to the principal, you'll be fine. Okay? No, that was just an application problem. What did it tell you in there? Hold on. Okay, it's just a different type of compound interest problem. I told you guys 2 days ago, when you go to finance, there's many different types of formulas for interest depending on what you're investing, over what time, how often it's compounded. So yeah, don't worry much about that, Annalise. It was just an extra formula for you to practice. You will not need to know that for the test. That one will not even be a bonus. Mary? Okay, for the compound, you said. Okay, so tell me what you typed in. Do you have your... Whoa, it's 2,500. Uh-huh. That's for the first year, but for the second year, they still want you to use the original principal. So for year 2, you should be typing in 2,500 times 1.03 to the second. They just want you to use the original principal because they're saying at a point in time, the formula takes care of the whole compound issue of using the principal from the previous year. So you still can use the original principal and it still compounds it each year. So you don't have to use the previous year's principal. You were going back and putting this in for the next principal. You do not have to do that. The formula takes care of it. That's why it's a compound interest formula. Okay, I just went over that with Emma. Do you want me to tell you again? 15, you should have 1,000, and then in parentheses, 1 plus 0.06 divided by 4, end parenthesis, raised to the 5 times 4 power. Same thing. So you should get the answer. After you simplify, you have 1,000 times, in parentheses, 1.015 raised to the 20th power. Yeah. Try that again. Annalise? Okay, hold on. Okay, tell me what you typed in. No, it should be times 1.3. If you're talking about the simple account, the account balance for year 10.
Yeah, but I didn't see it from balance. I just got the interest.
Okay. That's not right, no. Okay, I would just use the account balance formula, Annalise. Plug in your principal, and then in parentheses, 1 plus RT. The rate is 3%, and it's for 10 years. Well, you're not using PERT. Don't use interest equals PERT. You're using the account balance formula. A equals P, in parentheses, 1 plus RT. So try that again. You just used the wrong formula. Mary? You can always use the original. Remember I said the formula takes care of the compounding. So you can always use the original principle. Okay, Doug, last question. Okay, real quick. Oh, yeah, that's a lot. Okay, let's go over one more thing, and then there's more homework questions. I'll come over to you. Okay, Zach, what is the formula for just regular interest? How do you find regular interest? Good. Interest equals principal times rate times time. Charles, how do you find simple annual interest account balance? Good. Yep. Or P plus PRT. Yep. Matt, how do you find account balance for compound interest? Good job. Annalise, is this on homework? I'll come to you in a second for that, okay? Any questions on the formulas? Okay, I need you guys to open up your book to page 809. You have 5 minutes to get started. I wanted you to have more, but that's okay. You need to do numbers 1 through 36. Okay, so I want you to get started. This is a Chapter 7 review. It says right there. Okay, this, of course, mixes everything up. The only thing that I don't like about this page is there's not a lot of word problems or application. We'll do more of those. Jeremy, we'll do more of those on the review game tomorrow. And make sure that when you study the notes and homework assignments that do have the word problems and all the application that we did in class. Okay, Annalise, I'll come right back to help you. So go ahead and get started.